Sires and ladies, this Saturday I hath bringeth you some bad news regarding crypto. Our allies over in the West have left. Promises unfulfilled from a kingdom far away. Yes, the evil tyrant Gary Gensler will not be reeled in, nor will crypto get any relief, as our allies have fled, leaving us to fight alone. I went a little Shakespearean Macbeth style for the Saturday morning intro for the crypto news. What's up, everyone? Seriously, be upset. My job is to inform you of things good and bad. Unfortunately, I'm going to inform you about some major letdowns. Horrible for the crypto world. Start off with your comments. The Rav3769 says, Emmer, like all the rest, are all talk. Rob G says, they're like, look, even though you won the case, the United States government is still hostile towards crypto. The OCC is hostile towards crypto. Until that changes, banks in the United States are going to engage meaningfully. So true. Terry McGuire jumps in and says, no subpoena the bastards. I'll rearrange that sentence. How about there's no subpoena for the bastards? Bitcoin sitting at 37,317. Sol making a move. Market manipulation. XRP sitting at 67.5 with XLM right now on the screen. 12.5. All right, here's the news events that are happening that are setting up to rock the market. And I mean, I hate this. I want to do good news. Seriously, you guys are seeing some real frustration. This is not part of the script. This is me just being frustrated. I want to report good stuff. I want to report about a country that's getting better. I want to report about politicians that are doing a better job for us. I want to report about people that understand servant leadership and they are the ones serving us. But no, none of that's happening. I don't get to report on that this Saturday morning. And I also don't get to watch Saturday morning cartoons either. Why? Because I had to deal with this crap. Completely unacceptable. Johnson gavels the House out for a 3-day weekend to attend a far-right event. I don't care who he's meeting, what side of the aisle you're on. We've got things to tackle here right now, and it can affect the rest of the globe. Yep, that's right. U.S. inability can affect your financial holdings. Even though a potential federal government shutdown is just 8 days away, House Speaker Mike Johnson sent lawmakers home early for a long weekend to tend to a different priority, catching a flight to Paris. The New Republic reported Friday that Johnson, who still has yet to present a plan to fund the government before the November 18th deadline, gavelled the House of Representatives out of session on Thursday so that he can make it to a Worldwide Freedom Initiative's upcoming conference in Paris, France. Vive la France! Coupe la tête. Any of my French speakers out there, coupe la tête. Maybe that needs to happen in the États-Unis. Yeah, I speak French. I'm just fucking around right now. We are just 8 days away from a devastating government shutdown. And instead of working on a bipartisan way to keep the government open, Speaker Johnson sent Congress home early for the weekend. That came from Representative Abigail Spanberger, Democrat from Virginia. This is completely unacceptable. I agree. Like I said, I don't care what side of the aisle you are on. You are here to serve us, and that is not serving us. You're sending people home when we're backing right up to this deadline. Okay, that's number one, all right? Now, mind you, what bothers me about this is this all has to do with the market pumping and the market moving. This seems way too planned, way too orchestrated, and I'm sorry, do you believe in coincidence? Are people manipulating and behind the scenes? Because think about this. The market's up on a tear right now, okay? We got some ETF spot news, right? We got BTC ETF news pumping up the market. Cool, awesome. But then we've got people out there that are like, yo, we're going to shut down here in like a week, and let's go home early for a 3-day weekend. What? Wait, what did you just say? Let's go home for a 3-day weekend. We're about to hit a shutdown. I mean, this is an absolute disaster right now. Listen to this clip.
Emily, what's the scuttlebutt this weekend? Well, Kelly, we are back here again. The temporary funding measures that Congress passed at the end of September are going to run out next Friday night.
Yeah, we're back at it again because they passed a funding extension measure, right? And when that funding extension measure was passed the first time, Gary Gensler took that as an opportunity to say, we're probably going to be shutting down. We don't have any funding yet, so we're going to have to delay ETF action. You got the same exact setup right now happening. The exact same thing.
Makers have left D.C. for this long weekend without a final plan. In the House, Speaker Mike Johnson is facing his first big test in leadership.
And what leadership is it? You are here to represent us. Hold on. For those of you that are not in the United States, and for those of you that live in the United States, but maybe you didn't pay attention to social studies class, let me help you out here. These people are elected by us. We put them in power. Gensler is not elected by us. Reason I bring up that segue has to do with the user's comment from Terry McGuire. Subpoena the bastards. Hold on, everyone. I've got more to share with you. And that more comes from something that happened on September 27th. Let's go to my main man, Patrick McHenry.
So let me be clear. I do not want to be the first chairman of this committee to issue a subpoena to the Securities Exchange Commission. And you should not want to be the first SEC chair to receive a congressional subpoena.
Oh, but McHenry, what's the point of threats if you don't follow through? Let's take this to the real world, everyone. A lot of us are parents, aren't we? And we catch our kids going in the cookie jar and we say, yo, don't go in that cookie jar. I'm going to spank your hand if you take another cookie out of there. The kid looks at us and is like, yo, takes a cookie out of the jar. We're like, don't do it again. You do it one more time, I'm going to spank you. The kid's like, yo, you haven't spanked me yet, and I've had like 6 cookies. Goes in the jar. Don't you do it. You do it one more time, I'm going to spank you. Eat that cookie, I'm going to spank you. All right, cool. Maybe you chill out for like 5 or 10 minutes. Wait for the heat to kind of go away. And what do? You go back to the cookie jar to stick your hand in. Do that one more time, I'm going to spank you. You're like, all right, cool. I'll just wait for 20 minutes and then I'll go back to that cookie jar. McHenry. This was September 27th. We watched this live. So you hit the subscribe button. So you hit the notification bell so you don't miss this kind of stuff. But we watched this live. So what's the point if you threaten but don't follow through? Parents, educators, leaders, when you make a rule and the rule isn't followed, there are consequences. That is the problem. That's how things work. You have consequences for your actions. Otherwise, you don't learn. So, McHenry, you can act as tough as you want. And I was one of the first ones out there that said, yo, give this guy some time. Let him do his thing. Before we throw him under the bus, let's hear him out. Well, guess what? That time is over. September 27th was more than 6 weeks ago. Gensler still hasn't responded. In fact, Gensler's doing whatever the F word he wants. Seriously, does not care. Does not give an F. Gensler's sitting here using this right now, this government shutdown that we're talking about, as an opportunity to screw crypto over yet again. The SEC at any moment can delay procedural ruling on these ETFs because of lack of staff, because of a potential government shutdown. So they're not going to rule on something knowing they won't have the resources to regulate it, and that's the escape clause that they use. So you can threaten all you want. Don't touch the cookie from the cookie jar. Well, unless you're going to spank my hand, unless you're going to put me in the corner, unless you're going to take all the cookies away, eat them in front of me, feed them to the dog, I'm going to keep doing it. We are humans. We are people. I don't care what kind of leader you are still susceptible to the same kind of cesspool that's around you. And so, McHenry, be strong all you want, but if you don't follow through, you are weak, and that hurts crypto. When we start looking at going home for an extended weekend when we're backed up against the wall, well, we get credit downgrades for this. People, you and I get credit downgrades, right? Our country gets credit downgrades if we keep backing up to this wall, which affects us because then that affects the rate that our country's borrowing at, which then directly affects the rates that we're paying. And then remember, everyone who's been watching this, that there's a ton of countries out there that base their central bank and their monetary policy exactly to what the Fed does. So if the Fed's downgraded, guess what happens? Oh, see my point? And this guy is going home for the weekend, and I'm working on a Saturday morning. Because I believe in servant leadership. I'm serving you. I'm giving my time, my emotion up for you so that you can be educated and see the things that are going on. I love it. I love the interaction. I love the back and forth. I love the passion. Love the comments. Look at the live stream on the right. Love all that. Dude, live stream, seriously, during the live stream, chat is legit. It is so much fun. So much learning, too. Servant leadership. Building a channel for you. What are these people doing? And I'm not trying to pick on one side of the aisle, but they are giving me a lot of ammunition this morning. Because McHenry, you are now the leader of the House Financial Services Committee. You have been in charge of this since January when the new session came in. So we're talking, 11-ish months about? You had control of this, and what have we gotten? And guess what happens, everyone? In a year from now, we vote again. Which means we'd be starting this all over. So I'm nervous. Because yes, I see green. Trust me, and green is great. But what I'm so worried about is that you have two big events up right now that are anti-crypto, that are getting worse, and they're things that we can fix. House GOP struggling to resolve issues over a long-term spending bill. That's going to help you garner votes, isn't it, GOP, by not taking care of this spending stuff, huh? Great job. And remember, the GOP is pro-crypto. So if you want pro-crypto action, hey, look, I get it. GOP has views this way and that way. So does the Dems. Okay, I get it. I'm just talking about strict crypto right now. So you want your crypto leaders out there, guess what they're doing? They're on a long weekend. Long weekend.
Congress has just 1 week
to prevent. Hey, I don't want that. You got McHenry with the threats. No follow through. Cookie jar. Think about it. The brew that doth now drinketh is not of the alcohol style. All right, I can't keep that up. But like legit, this is not what we wanted. Like he sends him home for a 3-day weekend. We got no plan. We're working up to a deadline where if they get closer and closer and closer to that deadline of no funding, U.S. gets a downgrade. When we get a downgrade, rates go up because our national borrowing rate gets, because of our debt that we owe. I got leaders out there, House Financial Services, who are supposed to be the saviors for crypto. That's why when I kept telling everyone out there, look, you're not going to get regs in 2023. That was not me being negative, trying to drum up views and news. That was me telling you the habits and patterns of these leaders. Some appointed, some voted for, some not. But the letdown streak continues. The continuous ways that these people let us down by not following through. I'm a parent of 3 kids, 4 dogs at the moment. When they do something bad, they get punished. And guess what? They learn. Is it fun as a parent to discipline? No, it's not. Is it fun as a teacher to have to scold kids? No, it's not. But you gotta do it. And you're not doing it because it's fun, you're doing it because it's helping. Because hard choices that help people aren't easy, and that's what good leaders do. Good coaches do. And we're not getting that right now. It's Saturday morning, man. Saturday frickin' morning. No Woody Woodpecker. No Alvin and the Chipmunks. No G.I. Joe or anything like that. Muppet Babies too. I kind of like that one. But instead, this Saturday morning, I'm working. You're probably having some coffee. That's kind of cool and legit. Maybe you're working too. But our government isn't working. Our government's being the parent that lets their kid run around the mall yelling and screaming, ah! And like the parent's like 30 feet away from it, and you're like, dude, you gonna take care of that kid? Ah! No, they're not. It's frustrating stuff, but it's the world we live in. I'll be optimistic. I will. I'll put my happy face on and I'll do whatever I can to be as cheerful as possible. But when I see stuff like this, leaders, appointed leaders, voted in by us, given the power and the authority and the trust by us, and yet they don't follow through, then you know what? I'm not going to support you. Because you're not doing what's best for all of us. And that's what servant leadership is. And that's why servant leadership right now is failing crypto. Although these stories today are centered around the US, the effects are global because we know crypto is traded globally. Every time Gensler makes some sort of crypto brouhaha, that affects prices everywhere, right? It's not just within the US border that crypto prices are effed. When the US government screws around with rates, we know what happens. Global crypto gets affected. When the US government screws up stuff, it affects economic policy, which has ripple effects that affect global stuff like crypto. So although this may not be happening in your country, I'm very sorry that the country that I live in is letting you down financially. Now, what's not a letdown today is my continuous pursuit to get ready for a 6-hour ultramarathon. You can see I'm crossing these workouts off. I am getting ready. Today is a bike and lifting session. Tomorrow is an easy 2-hour run. What are you cool cats doing this weekend? Oh, yeah, and I forgot. For all you gold and silver fans out there, tomorrow, big auction. Lots of juicy silver, lots of it. I'll let you know how it goes. So until then, you cool cats, have a great rest of your day. And remember, don't put your hand in the cookie jar unless you know you're not going to get in trouble.